dude, your systems, the way you set your standard through your program, the way you're living your life is freaking awesome. You guys, you have a great model of how you represent yourself. How are you branching off, and like what's next for you after this? Like you're constantly building out Iron Faith. You got this incredible program on the table. You're expanding your empire. What are those big projections for yourself that that are higher than you, that are higher than Iron Faith, that you're looking to branch out to?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like what my goal is and what the company's goal is or what we're trying to do, I want to impact 1 million athletes. That's my goal. That's kind of what my vision is. My vision is whether it's having clubs everywhere throughout the country and helping kids in that way, or whether it's, them seeing a video or reading an article. I want to just impact as many kids as I can as possible. And we we did have a vision of maybe having like 100 clubs throughout the country, but we don't necessarily know if that's the direction we're going to go in anymore. Right now, we have our 2 clubs, we have our online stuff, and the focus right now is getting our members better at wrestling and growing these 2 locations. Because one thing we realized is the most important position, at least what we think right now, the most important position in a wrestling club is the head coach. For gyms, it's not the trainer. It's the manager of the gym. It's the most important position. So it's a little different. So essentially, the model of we need 100 different, if we want 100 different locations or whatever, we need a really good coach at each one. And I think we haven't really figured out how to run a gym without me running the gym, without my brother running the other one. We haven't figured out how to, like, say you want to open a club, Sean. We haven't figured out how to get that, how to help you do that and make sure you're doing the right things and make sure, pretty much we have not learned the skill of managing very well yet. All right, that's a skill we
Okay.
have not picked up and we're working on it, but like that's a skill we'll need to do if we want to grow in that aspect. Right? If we want to have other clubs where we're personally not running, we need to be able to pick the right person and manage them well and lead them well or whatever so that they're pushing our brand. Because it's very easy for me to push my own brand, like to uphold my own standards for my thing I'm running myself. It's very hard for me to make sure somebody across the country is doing it for me. So that's why, like, our first thing of kind of getting 100 clubs throughout the country, I don't know where we are with that. So right now our focus is focus on these 2 clubs, get them as good as possible, keep building our online presence and being known as essentially the place to learn wrestling. And then it could go many different ways. It could go to online training. It could just be like we run camps all year round at some location that does, overnight stuff like Perler Wrestling or something like that. Um, or it could be we we essentially, like, we have the 100 clubs, and the way we would do it is like, say you're from Penn State, you just won a national title, and Rutgers is like, we want you as an assistant coach, and then I call you up and say, hey, I want you to run a Iron Faith club at this location, and the guy's like, oh, I'd way rather run an Iron Faith club. And that's kind of like I think the vision where it would probably be. We need to get to a big enough and a respectable enough brand or name that, like, that Jason Nolf doesn't want to, like, when he's done competing, he doesn't want to coach at another Division 1 college. He wants to go run a club, and he loves our brand. He loves what we're doing, and maybe doesn't want to do all the admin stuff and doesn't whether want to run ads or whatever the other background stuff is. And we're like, hey, listen, you're the guy. We want you here. So I actually think that is kind of where we want to go with it. But we'll see. I'm excited to see kind of how this next year goes. the biggest thing I'm doing right now is I'm trying to build my online kind of brand. I've been pushing that pretty hard, and I'm pushing hard with our YouTube channel. So I'm putting out like some crazy good instructionals, like hour long on specific stuff, and that's what I'm kind of excited about as far as that. But again, there's no like specific like return right now. It's just like put it out there, but still make sure I don't lose sight of the main focus is getting our members better at wrestling. Because sometimes that does, like at the end of the day, like this podcast is awesome, but you don't lose focus that your customers, like you were saying, those are the guys you got to help first, and you're hoping this podcast can do something bigger for you later down the road as well. But like I feel
Definitely.
like sometimes I get caught up in like so much in the marketing side of things that I like am I giving my wrestlers enough attention? And I think I am, but I need to make sure I check myself on it. You know what I mean?